Digital humanities cannot be done alone. Digital humanities research is always a team effort involving a number of people working towards their individual goals in a collaborative manner. These people constitute different stakeholder groups who each have their own perspective on the work that they do together. This video will introduce you to different stakeholders and their specific agendas. In the following interviews, you will hear a PARTHENOS member, a person working in research infrastructures, a data archivist, a researcher, and a Digital Humanities Institute director, all working at the same institute, the Austrian Centre for Digital Humanities of the Austrian Academy of Sciences.
The whole PARTHENOS project is the main partners and stakeholders are research infrastructures, but we may not forget that the ultimate beneficiary of the project and of all the work that has been done should be the researchers. Marriage in heaven, because that's exactly, in these research infrastructures, is exactly the place where the humanities research and the technical infrastructure, if you wish, should come together. This shall be achieved on the one hand by policy work, by establishing or elaborating on standards, guidelines, best practices for data management and knowledge management, but also on technical level. The local expertise we have and the experiences we collected in various and many small projects can be directly actually forwarded into the bigger context of the overall big project. And the results of the big projects should be useful for all the individual projects to come.
International research infrastructures can facilitate interdisciplinary and international research. They are tools and services to support the researchers, but it's often neglected that the research infrastructures are also the network of the people. Organizing workshops where people can meet for a specific topic from different countries. Especially interesting for the arts and humanities is, for example, DARIA, the digital research infrastructure for the arts and humanities, or CLARIN. In Austria, for example, we have this Digital Humanities Austria network, where research institutions and national heritage organizations such as libraries collaborate together. Tools and services, they are nothing when there are no researchers that would use these tools and these services for their research.
Arche is ACDH's data repository, which serves as a digital archive for ACDH's research data, but it is not limited to ACDH and is open for the whole humanities community. As a digital archive, we also host a set of standards and recommendations, which we serve digitally, but we also provide advice to research institutions about how to do data management. Archiving data also allows researchers to get something like a publication, because archived data is visible to all others and gets a persistent identifier, so that is citable, like a data treasure for future generations.
For us researchers, it's always important to know a place where we can leave our data and where we can share it with other researchers who could possibly reuse them. As a researcher interested in historical sources of the early modern period, I work with cultural heritage every day. And of course, we want to show our work, and we also want to share it with our colleagues and also the broader public. It has strong advantages for us researchers to be embedded in a research infrastructure, because there we can find material which we can use and reuse and tools we can share. I can count myself lucky to work at an institute that really fosters and encourages digital methods.
The Austrian Centre for Digital Humanities was set up with the express goal of fostering research in the humanities through the application of digital methods and tools. Our primary goal is to enable researchers, is to give researchers back control over what they're doing, over their data. On one side we have to provide opportunities for the researchers to share their data. On the other side, we will also have to convince researchers that it's good for their research, it's good for themselves to make data available to other researchers. We do not only focus on the preservation of data themselves. It's not only about bitstream preservation, move something in and keep it there. It's also important that you can do something with the data. I think many things that are still being regarded by researchers as technical, basically are intrinsic part of the humanities as well.
One institute can take on the role of multiple stakeholder groups. This does not only foster exchange between the stakeholders, but can also create synergies and inspire solutions for challenges that affect everyone involved in digital humanities research. The Austrian Centre for Digital Humanities is a good example of diverse stakeholders who have learned to see eye to eye on digital humanities.